Hello and happy holidays, everyone. Jimmy Brown here. And what better way to get you into the spirit of the holidays than to play a nice Christmas song for you, holiday song. Deck the Halls. It's an old traditional Welsh carol, from the United Kingdom. And I came up with a cool, like a rock guitar arrangement that was initially inspired by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'm thinking like Whalen lead guitars, harmonized. And then I got into the accompaniment, and I came up with a cool thing. It sounded more punk, more like Green Day or the Ramones or something. So here it is. Check it out. Alrighty, so now I'm going to show you the cool harmony lead part I came up with below the melody. I got my man Paulie here, is going to help out. He's going to play the melody that I just showed you, and I'm going to play the harmony lead below it. Second verse, I'll go up an octave higher, 12 frets higher, and then I'll come back down for the third verse. Here we go, hit it! Okay, the whole concept here is to be like Tom Schultz or Brian May and get this wailing lead melody happening. So there's a lot of decorative embellishments here. The main thing is to rake into that first note. So I'm taking my index finger and lightly laying it across the A, D, G strings and then raking into that B string note. And those vibratos are very important too. I'm pushing up. It gives you a different kind of sound. I mean, you could pull down. For me, it's too fast when you do a pull down vibrato, unless you're in a certain, like if you're on a low E string, you have to pull down, right? So. Notice I did a position shift there. I basically wanted to play the melody on the B string. The B string is like my go-to string for melodic leads like this. And then we go back up to this position. So I'm adding these little hammer-on and pull-off trills. And then it's not really changing the melody, it's just adding to it, right? Adding to the basic melody. And does that twice, and then we go. There's another hammer-on or pull-off and slide. And you notice I'm not really using the pinky. I'm trying to use my more sure-fingered fingers here, the index, middle, and ring. And I'm using mostly downstrokes. You know, that is the basic stroke. You only alternate pick when you need to, right? So picking up bar 13. Okay, now here's the final ending. I mean, it go. And then the rhythm kind of picks up again, and then goes through basically 3 times, because there's 3 verses to the song. I included the lyrics just for fun. And then the last time I do this kind of like God Save the Queen, you know, Brian May type of thing. On the last ending, the third ending. Okay, that's outlining an E major triad. Then I only have 22 frets, so I bend from D up to E. That bend, by the way, is not for the faint of heart, you know, bending up on the highest note of the guitar, and then giving a good, sexy shake. And a slide off. Okay, this harmony part is mostly in fifths and sixths below the melody. I didn't want to do thirds because thirds sound so tight, you know, it almost blends too well and you lose track of the melody. In this song, the melody is all important, right? It's a famous, recognizable melody. So I decided to go down low, and so I'm doing the same kind of approach with the muted rake into this first note. Again, muting the middle 4 strings, and then also with the palm as well. You have a hammer, pull, slide. I might have done a pull down vibrato there, you know, or a push up. The push up to me sounds better. Okay, that's one instance where I am using the pinky. It just, you know, you add a necessity, you kind of need to. And one thing I want to say also regarding this harmony part and the melody, very important to palm mute the lower strings that you're not playing on. You know, I'm not necessarily palm muting the melody that I'm playing. I want that to ring, those notes to ring nice and clear, but it's very important to, you know, to not let these strings ring. You know, it's the difference between sounding like a pro and an amateur, you know, or I think Eddie Van Halen once said, when you have a 100-watt Marshall breathing down your neck, you learn real quick to palm mute, right? Okay, then for the bridge part, beginning in bar 9, the same kind of decorative embellishments that follow the lead part, the melody part, you know, everything is in rhythmic lockstep fashion. And then the final A section, bar 13. And then for the ending, it basically chases the main melody part up. That last, the third ending at letter C, bar 21. That's forming a nice harmony interval, mostly fifths and sixths with the melody, so you really clearly hear the melody. Now, just for fun, on the second verse, you'll notice I took that up an octave. You can just take it, look at the tab numbers, and just add 12 to everything. So that would be, or with a rake. Now it's above the melody, mostly in thirds and fourths. You kind of lose the melody a little bit, but that's okay because I played it low the first time, and I'm going to play it low again the third time. So for the rhythm part, I started thinking Ramones, I Want to Be Sedated, right? So it's very similar to that. Okay, we have a power chord slide from D sharp 5 to E5. I'm barring with the pinky. Some people like to bar with the ring finger, it's your individual preference. And then accenting, and then palm muting, and then not palm muting the notes I'm accenting. So slowly it's. Even without drums, that kind of sounds almost, it achieves the same function, the same purpose of a drum kit. Right? You get the backbeat. And it does that throughout the verses. But then it opens up off the palm muting. So here's the verse section in bar 5. A little bit of, I'm thinking like Billy Joe Armstrong or even Pete Townsend there. With his 16th note, quick down up strums. Everything else is downstrokes, right? So it's. For the B section in bar 9, I just pump on this B5 chord, pumping downstrokes, palm muted. And then we got these nice big fat quarter notes. All right, and then we're back to the final A section in bar 13. I did a variation here. Instead of just going, I went, kind of change up a little, right? And then we have a re-intro, bar 17. Very important to get those palm mutes during the rhythm part because you don't want to overshadow the melody. It's very easy for a roaring rhythm guitar part to overpower the melody. I mean, even if they're exact same volume, it's going to completely mask it because it's thicker. So you got to kind of lay back sometimes. You can't always have a sound man there to pump up the lead soloist, right? Sometimes you're just jamming with two guys with the same volume, and I guess if you have a boost, you could step on for the leads. But otherwise, it's a good habit to learn to be sensitive when you're playing rhythm and not always like balls to the wall, everything like loud, because if you're overshadowing a lead or a vocal, you're in trouble and you might soon find yourself out of a gig. Okay, so the very end. Very simple, right? Just that E5 chord. I'm barring with my pinky, so I'm getting that major third in there. You can get a harmonic if you get enough gain on there. I'm hearing the fifth feeding back there, but it's all good because you got the lead guitarist going.